The wedding music stopped, not because the singer made a mistake, but because the groom suddenly started crying in front of everyone. He stared at the woman on the stage like he had just lost his entire world. And the bride slowly realized the singer was the girl he once loved more than life itself. Emily and Daniel grew up together in a small, quiet village surrounded by green fields and rivers. They were inseparable since childhood. Every evening, Daniel waited for Emily near the old wooden bridge while she sang songs under the sunset sky. "You'll become a famous singer one day," Daniel always told her. Emily laughed. "And when I do, you'll stand in the front row, right?" Daniel smiled softly. Always. They dreamed about a future together, a small house, a happy family, simple love. But life changed everything. One cold morning, Emily received a letter from a music academy in the city. She had been accepted. Her hands shook with happiness and fear. "I have to go," she whispered. Daniel forced a smile, even though his heart was breaking. At the bus station, rain poured heavily as he held her suitcase. "Promise me you won't forget me," he said quietly. Emily hugged him tightly, crying into his chest. "Never." The bus doors closed, and Daniel watched the love of his life disappear into the rain. Years passed. Emily worked harder than anyone. She sang in tiny restaurants, slept in cheap apartments, cried alone many nights. People mocked her village accent. Some told her she would never become famous, but she never gave up. Because every night she remembered Daniel's words, "You'll become a star." And finally, she did. Emily's songs became famous across the country. Her voice was everywhere: radios, TV, social media. One day, after many years, she decided to return to her village for the first time. She imagined Daniel waiting for her. Maybe he still loved her. Maybe fate had protected their love. But the moment she entered the village, her world shattered. Daniel's parents approached her with bright smiles. "Emily, we're so proud of you," his mother said excitedly. Emily smiled nervously. Then she saw beautiful wedding decorations near their house. Her heart suddenly froze. His father handed her an invitation card. "Our son is getting married tomorrow," he said happily. "We would be honored if you sang at the wedding." Emily's face turned pale. Before she could speak, his mother laughed softly. "You and Daniel were always such good friends." Friends. That single word stabbed her heart. Emily forced a smile and nodded politely. But when she returned home, she collapsed onto the floor crying. Her father rushed into the room. "No," he said angrily. "You will not sing there. They broke your heart." Emily wiped her tears slowly. Her voice trembled. "If I run away now, I'll stay weak forever." The next evening, the wedding hall glowed with golden lights and music. Guests laughed happily. Daniel stood beside his bride, but his smile looked empty. Then, suddenly, the lights dimmed, and Emily walked onto the stage wearing a beautiful silver dress. The entire hall fell silent. Daniel's hands froze. He looked at her like he couldn't breathe. Emily held the microphone tightly, hiding the pain in her eyes. Then she began to sing. Her voice was soft, emotional, heartbreaking. Every lyric sounded like their lost love story. People at the wedding started crying quietly. Daniel's eyes slowly filled with tears. Flashbacks rushed into his mind. The bridge, the rain, the promises, the goodbye. The bride looked at him in shock as tears rolled down his face. And when Emily finished the final note, Daniel suddenly stood up, crying openly in front of everyone. But he said nothing, because sometimes love comes back too late. Emily smiled sadly through her tears, bowed to the guests, and walked away from the stage. This time, Daniel watched her leave again, and he knew he would regret it for the rest of his life.